If you drive around the countryside from fall to spring, you see fields, and in central Illinois or even throughout the Midwest, these fields are empty. After they harvest corn and soybean, the land just sits there, and a lot of times it gets tilled, and you have soil erosion and nutrients get washed into streams. And so huge potential to be growing crops. It's just really hard to fit a crop between corn and soybeans without affecting those crops.
I would argue soil is probably one of our most valuable natural resources in the state. Soil can be either a source of releasing things into our environment that maybe we don't want, like carbon dioxide and nitrogen and phosphorus fertilizers, which can contribute to global climate change, or the hypoxic zone in the Gulf of Mexico. It can also be a sink for those materials. It depends on how we manage our soils. Where pennycress comes in, pennycress is a winter cover crop, and so instead of just having corn or soybeans growing in the Midwest during the summer months, we can now extend that growing season essentially year-round.
Pennycress actually started as a weed. Back in 2012 we started working on it, and people at the USDA in Peoria, Illinois had the idea of domesticating it into an oilseed crop, and so we had the genetics expertise and agronomic expertise here, and within 10 years' time we changed it from a weed to a legitimate crop.
The most common approach is to extract the oil from the seeds and then use the oil to produce either biodiesel or aviation fuel. A second approach is to use the biomass, that's everything in the crop except the seeds, to produce biogas or the volatile fatty acids. Beyond energy production, the oil can be used to produce like bioplastics or biolubricants, and the biomass can be used as animal feed or even as the animal bedding materials.
We identify the candidate genes based on the traits that we want to work on. For me, let's say it was reducing the seed glucosinate content or increasing the seed size content. We want to reduce those traits in pennycress. Then we work on identify the candidate genes based on the study in Arabidopsis and other model plants. We work towards gene editing. That's what we do in our lab, is CRISPR gene editing. We target those genes, and then once we find the traits or the plants with those advantages that we are looking for, then we do the field trials. A number of layers of field trials, and then we put it under different agricultural and environmental conditions.
If you think about the way that our farms work right now, we plant a summer crop in May, we harvest it in September, and the whole rest of the year, that ground that farmer either is paying to rent or owns is not really generating a lot of revenue. And so by growing a winter crop that can be harvested and sold, there's a direct economic benefit to the farmer themselves. On my way in today, you drive past miles and miles of farmland, and right now it is just a sea of brown, and it's been that way all through the winter, right? And so I think to myself a couple things. One, how many wildlife is that landscape supporting? And it's not many. And then two, I think the best soils in the world can do better.
We're excited to just make it over those last few hurdles here, and expect to see this on not thousands of acres, but millions of acres here within the next 20 years.